Good morning, good morning, good morning, folks. This is Naeem Aslam live from London, and welcome to our daily update on our YouTube channel, in which we kind of break and filter all the noise from the market and give you the fundamentals which matter the most, so that you guys can make more important decisions for your trading day and fine tune your trading plans accordingly. Now, of course, if you guys can hear me and if you guys can see everything well, please do give me a check. Now, a bit of a housekeeping before we do anything further. As always, it is important for us to go through disclaimer. Anything which will be discussed cannot be perceived. Thank you for giving the sound check E-Trade Capital. So anything which will be discussed cannot be perceived as an advice. It is purely for education purposes, but it is for education purposes. So that means you can really understand. And if you do not understand, put your questions right over here, and I am here to help you in relation to filter out all that noise. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, just a gentle and a kind request, please do so, because it really helps us to get into Google's algorithm. And of course, if you like the content, there won't be no harm for you to just smash that like button as well. So what exactly is going on in the market? That is the big question. Why have we seen the DAX index putting the DAX, the German stock index, is putting another all-time high today? I mean, that is the question that everyone is looking at. They look at the US stock market, especially the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which has made another all-time high yesterday. It went up by 100 points yesterday. And of course, investors are thinking, we thought that there is going to be a lot of contagion concern because of a hedge fund which was forced to liquidate its massive positions, 20 billion worth of positions. This is what everyone was thinking about. Okay, perhaps there would be a contagion effect. But if you have seen our live update, which we did yesterday, we did say that this is perhaps not a contagion event. This is likely to be very much contained, and we are not possibly going to see the effect of this one moving into other particular major banks. But nonetheless, the question was, how a family office, or especially this particular family office, was really given such a massive leverage by banks. And of course, now regulators have summoned those banks which have given these massive leverages to this particular fund, which had big positions on Chinese stocks and other entertainment stocks such as Viacom, CBS. Of course, we will cover all the stocks in a lot more detail later on, and we will really discuss where are the opportunities. So why don't we begin with that? Yesterday, in our live video, we talked about how Credit Suisse could be a great opportunity. Why? Because Credit Suisse stock dropped massively. It dropped over 16% at one point yesterday, touching its 200 simple moving average because of its exposure to this particular Archicos family office and the massive leverage that it really gave to that particular family office. So that really pushed the stock price lower because of its exposure and possible losses for that. But remember, again, this is a small sort of an event with respect to Credit Suisse. The bank still holds a very, very strong balance sheet. The stress test results were pretty strong with respect to the recent stress test. So I really do not see this as a massive event which is really going to bring Credit Suisse to its knees. So I believe that this is an opportunity for investors to buy Credit Suisse at a much lower price, at a heavy discount, which it is presenting itself now. And same goes for Baidu as well, because Baidu has been under tremendous pressure for the last few days. Of course, we are seeing the Chinese regulator really clamping down on Chinese tech companies such as Tencent and Baidu. And of course, there is a threat looming of these stocks getting delisted from the US stock exchange as well. But the fact is that they have really strong business model. They still have a very strong penetration in the market. And do you think that Alibaba, Alipay, those businesses just going to evaporate because of these small events? No, these small events, in my humble opinion, and of course it is an opinion, you guys need to do your own research and all of that, represents an opportunity for investors to really come and then back some bargains. Like, for disclaimer purposes, I really added into my position for Baidu, I added into Tencent, and I also added my position in AliExpress, Alibaba as well, because I think that this is a great opportunity to really back some bargain in relation to these particular stocks. And of course, Credit Suisse is a great bargain where I've added further into my position today as well. And it is a long-term position, nothing really to worry about with respect to that. Now, why am I optimistic in relation to this particular stock market? That is one of the questions that investors may be asking themselves. The reason that I'm quite optimistic about the stock market is because tomorrow we have US President Joe Biden, who will be announcing a massive stimulus plan in the coming days. Now, actually, it's going to be tomorrow. So he's going to be talking about 3 trillion worth of a stimulus plan. And I mean, it could be anywhere between 1 trillion to 3 trillion. But the fact is, another stimulus plan is very much going to hit the US economy. And that is going to provide further tailwind for this particular trade that we are seeing, meaning the US stock market is likely to move to the upside because Joe Biden is bringing more stimulus on the table, and that is likely to push markets to the upside. Of course, the risk of event could be if he's going to very much finance these ones through higher taxes. So investors could take that as a risk off event, and we could see a sell-off in the market. So we need to be cognizant of that. We need to be mindful of that, and the concerns are going to be very much there with respect to that. So that is a risk on and a risk off event which is going to be taking place tomorrow. So we have to be very, very careful in going into that. But overall, I think market is going to move away from those tax hikes or anything in that relation to, because that really makes the story a bit more plausible that yes, at least the money is going to be financed by tax rather than issuing debt. So that is what investors would like to see on a long-term perspective for sure. So moving away from the stock market and going into the cryptos. Now, of course, Bitcoin prices have been going up, then we're going down, going up, going down. So we have this consolidation pattern very much forming. But what I really kind of wanted to see in relation to Bitcoin price is to break above the 60,000 price level. Of course, we have Goldman Sachs filing for the Bitcoin ETF. We have Fidelity, as we've discussed previously, filing for Bitcoin ETF. We have pension funds investing into Bitcoin. We have sovereign wealth funds closely looking to buy and build their position in ETF. We have Federal Reserve, who the chairman of the Federal Reserve, who believes that Bitcoin is more like gold. Overall sentiment is very, very positive. So we should be really looking at Bitcoin prices from long-term perspective. And with that in mind, I think 100,000 with relation to Bitcoin price is very, very realistic, given the fact that the supply is very limited. Now, let's move away from Bitcoin and then let's start focus on gold and oil. Now, gold is obviously moving back towards its support zone. Earlier today, we have done a technical analysis video describing where are those buy zones really in relation to gold prices. So highly recommend you to have a look at those one at that particular video as well. But overall, I think gold is at a very critical situation. We have two major events that are likely to impact the price. Number one, it is your US non-farm payroll. Number two is Joe Biden's speech about the US stimulus that he's going to be talking about tomorrow. Now, with respect to oil prices, nothing is more important than OPEC meeting, which is taking place on Thursday. And of course, Saudi Arabia still is saying that they want to extend the current supply cut. So that means there could be higher oil prices going forward. That's all for now, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.